Ladies and gentlemen, that's 397 points, in case you couldn't count. The East was the first team in All-Star game history to score at least 200 points. First of all, no defense whatsoever. No pride, no competitive fervor, nothing. The greatest players in the world showed up and basically gave you a version of flag basketball. I never heard of flag basketball until now. We've heard of flag football. You know, where no tackles are involved, where you're just touching one another, where it's a crime if you have bad breath and you breathe on each other. No. That's usually reserved for football. This is basketball. And what we've learned a new sport exists. It's flag basketball. It's flag basketball. Nobody touch anybody. Nobody defends. Nobody do anything. Shoot as many threes as you want. Make as many layups as you want. Have many dunks as you want. I get it. I understand that you don't want to put yourself in a position, ladies and gentlemen, where you are risking injury. I get that to some degree. I truly, truly do. And nobody is expecting, nor should they expect, the players to play as if it's a playoff game or the players to play as if it's even a regular season game. But here's my thing. Why do I see you playing harder in Summer League when you're working out at UCLA or Loyola Marymount or some other place in New York City? Why do I see you working out harder during those games in the summertime than you are for All-Star Weekend? I remember a few years back when the fourth quarter was competitive and we were raving about them going at one another because it dictated home court advantage for the winner come NBA Finals when it was East versus West. I remember that. But it's gotten to a point now where it's utterly ridiculous. And this is where the Europeans are going to take over, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you this warning in advance. Because you see, you couldn't pull this off if you showed up in France, if you showed up in Slovenia, Czechoslovakia, or Croatia, or someplace like that. They ain't having it. The pride, the patriotism, making sure that you give folks their money's worth. That's what matters. You see how crazy they are over soccer? People got to worry about their lives if they don't give effort. Hell, when they do give effort, if the outcome ain't what the crowd wants it to be, you got to be concerned. You certainly can't feel free to walk the streets. But here in America, with these players in a league, predominantly African-American, I might add, you got guys getting paid and they got their money, and as a result, it's diluted the importance of the All-Star games because they don't give two shits about what happens. You can't even compete. You can't even face up against somebody and try to defend against them. No, we can't do something like that. It's embarrassing. You can tell it in the face of Commissioner Adam Silver. You could tell it in the face of NBA personnel, some coaches, even some of the players. You heard them after the game, the way that they were talking. LeBron, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, all speculated as to whether or not something could be done about it because they know it's a problem. They know it's a problem. It's really embarrassing. They are so lucky. Former Commissioner David Stern has passed away. God rest his soul. Oh, are they lucky? Because I'm telling you, he'd come up with something just to agitate the players and make them compete in a fashion that shows deference and respect to the viewing and paying public. I don't care if they do away with the game. I don't care if there is no All-Star game. I really don't. That's how embarrassing it is. It really, really is. But it ain't worse than what I'm about to bring up right now. Now let me get to the dunk contest. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the last two slam dunk competitions have been won by a fellow named Matt McClung. You ever heard of that name? If you're not familiar with Mr. Mac McClung, no one will hold it against you. He plays in the G League for the Osceola Magic, to be exact, the G League for the Orlando Magic. And he just won the NBA slam dunk contest for a second year in a row. A G Leaguer, yes. Now, historically, some of the best NBA dunkers of all time have participated in the dunk contest, in case you missed it. Let me go down memory lane and name just a few. The original slam dunk champion, Julius Erving put on the original show in 1976. Later on came Michael Jordan and his iconic battles with Dominique Wilkins, of course, okay? And Jordan took a page from Dr. J and took off from the free throw line to win that battle in 1988. Let's get to 2000. Remember that show that Vince Carter put on? Remember that absolute show he put on for the All-Star crowd against a field that included fellow All-Star Tracy McGrady, by the way? We didn't see that this past weekend. I can tell you that much. And there's only one person to blame for the lack of high-profile players participating in the dunk contest. You damn right. His name is LeBron James. Now, so for everybody gonna get all sensitive and stuff like that, let me be very, very clear. Let's throw out the particulars. Let's throw out the specifics, because we all know that we got to make sure that we honor the greatness of King James, right? He's on the Mount Rushmore, four-time champion, four-time league MVP, went to like 9 straight NBA finals, 10 straight NBA finals, for crying out loud. This is what he's done in his career. He's the leading scorer in NBA history. No one has scored more points. He just recently surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar last season. We get all of that about LeBron James. He's 39 years of age in his 21st season. We've never seen somebody in their 21st season averaging 25 a game looking the way that LeBron James is looking, clearly on the Mount Rushmore. And we will miss him when he is gone. And we appreciate LeBron James because he is somebody that has been the marquee and has thoroughly and fully embraced it and has handled himself with pristine class, without question. But that doesn't negate the one flaw in his entire career that's more conspicuous than anything else, and that is his absence from the slam dunk contest. You see, whether it's David Thompson, whether it's a Connie Hawkins, whether it's a Dr. J. Julius Erving, whether it's even Craig Minor, for crying out loud, when people were calling him Baby Jordan, whether it was a Michael Jordan, whether it was a Dominique Wilkins, the list went on and on and on throughout the years. Kobe Bryant participated in it, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. The list went on and on and on, as most recently, Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine put on a show for the ages. It was spectacular. I'm talking about Skywalkers. Skywalkers. By the way, let me not forget Kenny Skywalker, who used to play for the New York Knicks, that entered the slam dunk contest years ago. Skywalkers. Those marvelous, spectacular athletes who play above the rim. Every single one of them participated in the slam dunk contest until LeBron James came along and decided he didn't want to be a part of it. He didn't mind being on layup lines pre-games and doing all these spectacular dunks to put people on notice that he could participate in the slam dunk contest and he could win the slam dunk contest and get everybody oohing and ahhing over him and stuff like that. We did that. We got all of that. But he's never chose to participate in the slam dunk contest, and here's what it meant. When you have a superstar of his magnitude that sat up there and said, hey, I'm not really interested in participating in competing in a slam dunk contest, it was okay for everybody to follow suit. Remember what Ja Morant said last year? He didn't care too much about the slam dunk contest. He'll compete, for it when he wants to, if he ever wants to. That came because you had guys like LeBron James who started all of this level of indifference and apathy towards participating in the slam dunk contest. When you see it go away, when you see it evaporate and disappear, when you see the growing public get tired of the nonsense that they put before us, then you'll understand who to point the finger at. It's the one thing that deserves to be pointed right at LeBron James. He is the one that did all of this. Mac McClung, you deserve all the props in the world. You legitimately won that. Jaylen Brown, you deserve props for participating in the slam dunk contest. Ain't nobody gonna throw shade on you for participating in it. But for LeBron James to skip it, you made it okay for everybody else to skip it. Where was Anthony Edwards? He's a Skywalker. He's dunking on people all the time. How come he didn't participate in the slam dunk contest? Where the hell was he? You see all of these cats that can jump out the gym and jump on and dunk on folks. Where they at? Why haven't they participated in it? Because they don't care. Which is why I have an idea. And I've said this publicly before, but I'm going to reiterate it again because I want y'all to hear this in detail. And I'll put some of my own money up if that's what it takes. It ain't going to be me alone. I need help now. I ain't got that much paper. But I'm happy. And I've spoken to Adam Silver about this. I've spoken to other NBA officials about it. And I will continue to implore and to push for this idea that I first presented on First Take on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. I presented this 2 years ago to Kendrick Perkins. Let's have a national dunk contest, national slam dunk competition, city to city, state to state. Throughout this union, you have some of the best dunkers descend upon one area so they can be evaluated for their slam dunking prowess. We pick the best from each city. And then after that, you cut it down somehow, some way to a top 10. And the top 10 dunkers get all expenses paid trip to All-Star Weekend. The first prize winner, $1 million. Runner-up, $500,000. Third place, $100,000. Now, if I'm gonna be quite blunt about this, we got people acting up in the streets throughout America for far less than that amount of cash. So imagine what they would do if all you got to do is win a slam dunk contest in order to get that kind of paper in your pocket. Think about how competitive they will be for it. Think about the level of competition we'll witness, the quality of the slam dunks we'll see. Do that, and here's how you keep NBA All-Stars involved. If you're LeBron James and you're an All-Star, I'm sponsoring that guy. If you're Steph Curry and you're an All-Star, I'm sponsoring that guy. If you're an Anthony Edwards, if you're Karl Anthony Towns, if you're a Jalen Brunson, if you're a Giannis Antetokounmpo, if you're Nikola Jokic, you talk about the top 10 vote getters. The top 10 vote getters, each of them represent one of the guys participating in the slam dunk contest. And they sponsor them. This is my guy. This is who I'm coaching. This is who I'm rooting for. And that's how they can participate rather than putting themselves through the arduous physical task of having the slam dunk themselves. And as a result, everybody's happy. You got a spotlight put on the sport of basketball. You got player involvement, which are the All-Stars. And you got cats from the streets that are competing. And since they don't play in the NBA, and they don't have to worry about an 82-game schedule, and they don't have to worry about getting injured, and they don't have to worry about taking risks, they're going to go all out. And we're going to see an elevated level of quality. If a G Leaguer can participate in the slam dunk contest, certainly somebody else can too. Because evidently, you don't have to be an NBA player to participate. Matt McClung has played a grand total of 4 NBA games. That's it. He's in the G League. The hell with it, y'all. We got players from Europe. We got players from America. We got players from different continents. How come we can't get players from the streets of America? Let them do it. That is my idea, because if you're not going to do that, eradicate the slam dunk contest. I don't want to see people in Timberlands. I don't want to see 14 missed dunks. I don't want to see all of this nonsense. I don't want to see the same old jumping over somebody. I don't want to see that no more. I need creativity. Give it to me. I can say this, however. There is something that was good about All-Star Weekend. Wasn't the All-Star game. Damn sure wasn't the slam dunk contest. Both of them need to go as presently constructed. But we can't say the same about the three-point shooting contest. Major props to Damian Lillard for winning back-to-back three-point shooting contests. But the highlight of the entire weekend was Sabrina Ionescu versus Steph Curry. Now, Steph Curry might be considered the greatest shooter in basketball history, but Sabrina certainly made him prove it Saturday night as part of the NBA All-Star Weekend, okay? The Golden State Warriors guard edged the New York Liberty guard 29-26 in an NBA versus WNBA three-point shooting contest, the first of its kind. Ionescu opened by making 7 straight shots before finishing with a total score of 26, which happened to tie the highest score by any NBA player in the three-point contest held earlier Saturday night, and won, obviously, by Milwaukee Bucks star Damian Lillard. But in the end, Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God has ever created, eclipsed that all with 29. Steph Curry shows up. He took it seriously, y'all. He knew Sabrina was no joke. He also knew he didn't want to lose to her. Period. And the bottom line is he showed up and he showed out. He answered the call. After she scored her 26, he needed to come on strong and make sure he did his thing. And he ended strong as well. He is the greatest shooter man has ever seen. It's that simple. And had he lost to her, it would not have been any shame in it. She was allowed to shoot a WNBA ball because that's what she shoots regularly, as opposed to a regular basketball, but she shot from the same distance. I don't want to hear all of this noise, people aiming towards Kenny Smith talking about he was wrong to say she should have been allowed to shoot from the WNBA range. Him and Reggie Miller going back and forth. Reggie Miller saying shoot, all of that other stuff. Stop trying to make it into something that's not. Kenny Smith is entitled to his opinion. Reggie Miller is entitled to his. Kenny Smith wasn't being disrespectful towards her. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. She shot from NBA range, and she still did better than most. Remember, 4 people in the NBA three-point shooting contest had the 26. She had 26 as well. She just ran up against the greatest ever. And by the way, this should continue. They should have this event every All-Star weekend. Steph Curry didn't disappoint. Sabrina Ionescu did not disappoint. They were marquees and showed up and acted like marquees and treated it with the seriousness that it deserved. They answered the call the way marquees are supposed to answer the calls. Everybody can learn something from them.